Hi kindergarten friends! Today we're going to work on retelling a story using our Brady doll. And this is a braid that we have. It's provided by our district as a tool to help retell a story. So we're going to use this today with one of our Zuzu books. And Zuzu books were something we used to read every week to help us retell stories. So this is called The Surprise. The characters in our story could be Pam, Carlos, Emma, Max, and Ferdinand. We read these books once a week, and it was the same characters, just with different storylines, so the kiddos should be very familiar with these parents. And I also not only read the words in the story, I also like to talk about the noticings in the picture to help talk about how we can read pictures as well. So you'll notice me reading words and pictures, both. So our story, our Zuzu story today is called The Surprise. Max, please pass it on. So I noticed that our character, Pam, is hiding behind a tree, kind of watching and seeing what Carlos is doing. And it looks like Carlos has a letter that he's passing on to Max. And he's supposed to pass it on, the words say. Shh, Emma, please pass it on. So now Max is passing the letter to Emma. I see Carlos walking away. He looks happy to be walking away, like his job is done. I still see Pam hiding in the bushes though, and it concerns me to see her face with big eyes wondering what is going on. Shh, Ferdinand, please pass it on. Now I see our monkey, Max, going back into the house where Carlos was, looking happy, like his job is done. I see Emma taking the envelope she received, and she's giving it to Ferdinand. But I still see Pam. She's looking even more and more nervous. She's hiding up in a tree and her eyes are big and her mouth is open, like she's waiting for something to happen. Happy birthday, Pam! Now I see Pam looking ecstatic. Her face looks surprised, her mouth is open, her eyes are big, and her hands are on her face, which tells me she was shocked and wasn't expecting to have a birthday. I'm guessing that the letter that was being passed on between all the characters was a birthday card, because this says, Happy Birthday, Pam. I see everyone celebrating and excited to celebrate Pam's birthday. So in our story, The Surprise, we can use our Brady doll to help retell a story. So this little green guy up here at the top is for our characters. He has little eyes to help remind us that this is a character. So we can talk about the characters we read in the story. So the characters that we had were Carlos, Pam. We also saw Max, the monkey. We saw Emma, the elephant. We saw Ferdinand, the frog, as well. So I would talk about our characters. Our characters were Pam, Carlos, Ferdinand, Max, Emma. Then I would talk about the star. The star tells us the setting, and the setting is where the story takes place. So, kindergartners, when we look at our book today, where do we see the story happening? Is it outside, inside, daytime, nighttime? Is it at the zoo? Is it at the house? What do you guys think? So, I would say that the setting where the story is happening is outside. And it looks like it's outside the zoo because all of our stories have taken place in the zoo, but I noticed that in our last page, it's all of a sudden inside the house. So I'm wondering if this is a house on the zoo property. Then I would talk about the kickoff. The little soccer cleat is the kickoff event of the story. So that would be the first leading event in our book. So that would be our first page when our kickoff is when Carlos had a letter that he was going to pass on to one of our other characters, who was Max. And that kicked off our story to have it continue on. So to review, this is our characters, our setting, our kickoff event, and then we skip down to the beads, and I like to tell us the beginning, middle, and end of the story. So what we use is we use first, then, next, and last. So as I slide a bead down, I tell what happened and retell the story. So I would say, first, Carlos had a letter that he asked Max to pass on. Then Max took the letter and he passed it on to who, kindergarten? You remember? Emma, that's right. So Max then passed it on to Emma. Then I would say, next, Emma took the envelope and passed it on to Ferdinand. Last, all the characters were together celebrating Pam's birthday in the house. So you can use Brady to help retell any story. It can be a more complicated story than this. It can be any picture book. It can even be your events that you did today. If mom and dad went to the store, it was daytime at lunch when they went to the store, they bought chicken. First they came home and cooked the chicken after putting groceries away. Then they cleaned up the food that they cooked. Next they ate. Last, they all had dessert after. So you can use it with events, you can use it with stories, anything you want families to practice retelling a story. So just remember the Brady Doll characters, setting, kickoff, how the story started, the first main event, and then using the transition where it's first, then, next, and last. All right, guys, it was good to see you. Thanks for watching.